KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in New York, ahead of Friday night's fight night from the Hulu Theatre in Madison Square Garden. Delighted to be joined by Chris Algieri. How are you, sir?
Very good, thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to interview you for the first time, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you feeling ahead of your fight with Mr. Daniel Gonzalez this weekend?
Feeling awesome, feeling really good right now. Weight's good, conditioning's great. This is probably the healthiest I've felt going into a fight week, so feeling real positive.
You had a fight at the back end of 2018, but you had quite a spell out of the game. Just talk to me about how frustrating that must have been for you to kind of be out for so long.
Yeah, I was out for about 2.5 years, and even though the mind and the body was willing, I had some outside forces keeping me out of the ring. So yeah, it was a tremendous amount of frustration. But I had to do what I had to do, stay focused, stay fit, and we came back in November and did our thing and got the win, and now we're right back again in January.
Because it's fair to say there was a point kind of in that period where people kind of questioned whether you would return to the ring full stop.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a big question. I think a lot of people thought that I retired. That was never the case. That was never the plan. So I always knew I was coming back. We just had to, like I said, take care of those outside forces.
Welterweight division is thriving as ever. It's one of the best weight divisions we have in boxing, and it continues to be to this day. So how do you kind of assess the scene at the moment? Obviously you've been in with the best, but how do you assess the scene to the current day?
Yeah, I mean it's highly competitive. There's a lot of great champions, a lot of undefeated guys. I'd like to see them all kind of fight each other and see what's going on. I mean, I'm from a day where when you're a champion, you fight the best guys around. When opportunities arise, you fight. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that in the welterweight division, but I think in time that's going to happen.
It's mad to think that your fight with Manny Pacquiao was nearly 5 years ago.
Yeah, about that. About 4.5 years ago, yeah.
Has that flown?
It has. And honestly, it's flown so fast. I haven't really even thought that much about it. Over the years, I always say I'll think about it later. I'll worry about it when I'm retired.
The defeats on your record. I mean, you're talking about the best. Errol Spence, the Amir Khans, etc. The Manny Pacquiao. So, what's kind of the goals of 2019? To get a shot at the world title? Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be back if I didn't want to be a world champion, if I didn't see myself as a world champion. So I want to go and kind of pick up where I left off and just do it like a real contender. Work my way up, keep winning, keep beating guys, work myself up the ranking, and earn my title shot and be a real world champion. Because
I'm assuming it's not going to be, a couple of wins for you, and you could kind of find yourself back into that fold of fighting those kind of guys again, surely.
Oh, absolutely. And that's something I tell a lot of the young guys coming up now in the gyms. Make sure you're ready when you take that step up, because there's no looking back. It is up, 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 up. The competition is there's a ton of good guys out there, and once you start fighting good guys, you stay fighting good guys.
And with the amount of different platforms, obviously we've now DAZN and added to all the already existing platforms here in America especially, there's plenty of opportunities, plenty of shows for you guys to fight. So.
Oh, absolutely. This is such a great time to be involved in fight sports. Let me just be a fighter. Be a fighter, be a manager, be a promoter, be a network. There's so many platforms, there's so many opportunities, and to be seen. For a fighter, that's what we need. We need exposure. We need to be seen. We need to be out in public. We need to have those crossover events where we can pull fans from other places to come watch boxing. It's the best sport in the world, man. We got to let everybody know it.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask your opinion on a couple of fights. Obviously, quite notably this weekend in Las Vegas sees your old opponent Manny Pacquiao take on the controversial Adrien Broner.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this fight, Chris?
So this is a fight about age, basically. I think in his prime, Pacquiao beats almost anybody, but Pacquiao's not in his prime anymore. But I will say I was at Pacquiao's last fight versus Lucas Matisse in Malaysia, and he showed a lot of fight left in him. And I think if that guy shows up on Saturday night, he beats Broner.
Is Pacquiao having this fight with Broner with a view to this Mayweather rematch, which is still a possibility?
I would think so.
Yeah.
If at this stage of Manny's career, he's going to look for the biggest paydays possible, and it doesn't get much bigger than that.
And Adrien Broner is kind of, what can you say about Adrien Broner? I suppose many people's opinions the defeats he's had in his career haven't humbled him, but that's just Adrien Broner. You take it or leave it. That's how he is. But
I will say something positive about Adrien Broner is that he fights anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will give him. I tip my hat to that because a lot of guys won't do that. You know, he's taken on all comers over the years.
I think with Adrien, obviously, he become a multiple weight world champion so early in his career. And some people kind of forget about that he won world titles at, I believe, at least 3 or 4 different
30,
weights.
35, 47, yeah. 3 or 4, I think.
And yeah, like you said, he'll jump in with anyone. So it's an interesting fight anyway to see what happens.
He's a super talented guy. You know, he's got that left hook, and he's very explosive and reactive. But I just think Manny's a different animal.
Also announced this week, another one of your opponents, Amir Khan, will take on one of the pound-for-pound best currently in Terence Crawford. Obviously, from us, for the British fans, we were gutted not to see the Kell Brook fight next.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that, and him not fighting Kell Brook to take this Terence Crawford fight?
Another guy, Amir Khan, who fights anybody. That's impressive. You know, he could have the chance to fight Kell Brook, and honestly, I've always thought he could beat Kell Brook. I think Amir Khan can beat anybody in the world on any given night. He's just got that much talent, that much skill, that much speed. It's just, is he going to be able to avoid, the big shots or getting into fights and styles that he shouldn't? But this is just not a good fight for him. Terence Crawford he's got too much right now, too much momentum. He's a real welterweight now. He's grown into the weight class, and I don't know if Khan really is. So that's a tough fight.
But do you? I mean, the reasons he gave for choosing the Terence Crawford fight ahead of the Kell Brook fight is because, for starters, for a world title, he believes Terence Crawford, obviously the bigger name, the better fighter, etc., etc. So, but I suppose you have to be in Britain to kind of really want this fight as much as we have for the last few years, and we haven't had it yet, and we don't know if we're going to get it. So
I'd rather see the Kell Brook Khan fight, honestly, than the Terence Crawford Khan fight. But I get where Amir is coming from in terms of what you just said. Title fight, bigger name, potentially a better fighter. He's pound for pound one of the best there is. So that's a big opportunity.
Any plans for you to fight in the UK, Chris?
I'd love to. I mean, there's a lot of great fans out there. I think that my style, plays off really well to the British fans. I've had a lot of good people reach out on social media. I'm not opposed to it at all. Any
names in mind you would target?
I mean, I've never got to really call people out. I've never picked any of my opponents. They tell me who I'm fighting, and I fight them. I'm a prize fighter. Tell me who I'm fighting, I'll fight them. So we'll see what's out there. But I've got my eyes on moving up the rankings and be a world champion.
All right, Chris, listen, thank you very much for your time. You've got your press conference today ahead of Friday night's fight night. So, yeah, wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll grab a word with you after your fight on Friday.
Sounds good.
Top man, thank you very much.
Thank you.